Hi, my name is N.Jones. I'm from Sociology SBS 110. This is module number 8, social change. Today we're talking about social change, which is the fundamental alterations and patterns of culture, structure, and social behavior over time. So basically, it's just the alterations of social order of the society. Number one is society has changed over the past decade from style to language and even our environmental resources. Give an example of how social change has affected physical environment, population, innovation, diffusion, and mass media. Okay, social change has affected the physical environment by certain geographical changes, sometimes produce great social change. Climate, such as climate, storms, earthquake, floods, droughts, etc., like definitely affects the social life and induce social change. The social change has affected population because the population growth in rural areas today has like the desire for motherhood, which is a matter to be accepted. Like they want to be accepted by bearing kids. So a barren woman suffers ostracism. Old folks' tale says that even animals refuse to eat food cooked by a barren woman. A woman with a large family is respected, so there is pressure to expand the family size in order to be accepted in those areas. It has affected innovation by changing technological inventions such as wind turbines, concentrated solar power, geothermal energy, ocean waves, and many other emerging innovations. Innovations are single acts. They're they're not single acts, rather. They're combinations of existing elements plus new elements. For example, glass gives birth to lenses and costume jewelry, and then lenses gave birth to eyeglasses and magnifying glasses, etc. So as the cultural base increases, the possible use tend to grow tremendously. Okay, it affects diffusion, how quickly it spreads from one society and social group to another, which means it is, in essence, a process of that social change. New technologies are shared around the world, which is a positive effect of cultural diffusion, and the spread of diseases such as AIDS or smallpox, uh, which killed many people as it spread from one area to another, is a negative example of cultural diffusion. So, social change affects mass media because nowadays technology is more advanced. There's an abundance of channels. Now, back in the day, it was like three networks and it was geared towards two parent households, and some middle class didn't even have a television. Now, today, you can find television in like the poorest homes. Everybody has a TV. If you don't have a TV, it's like you're weird. So, technology is advancing and the need for it is growing more and more each day. So the information revolution was still and is still important perspectives in society. It has changed society by advancing in positive ways. Computers are revolutionizing the platform of America. The growth of internet is amazing. In 1997, only 18% of the U.S. households had internet access. By 2011, that number quadrupled, according to the Internet World Stats in 2012. So we can pretty much do everything online. Like cell phones have advanced dramatically. I think it's going to keep advancing because technology is just getting better and better, and the need for the technology is growing stronger and stronger each day. So, number three is how has modernization changed many underdeveloped nations? It has changed many underdeveloped nations due to internal causes, self developing, self transforming societies. All right. An example of modernization, starting with the New Age, is the development of Western Europe and North America. It's changed planned economy by a mixed economy or a market economy. and it's changed the political development as well. The last question says, what are the types of social movement that have occurred in the history? When and why? Okay, social movements, first and foremost, I want to tell you social movements are a type of group action. They are large informal groups, groupings, and individual organizations that focus on specific political and social issues. So the first is revolutionary social movement. It's dedicated to carrying out revolutionary reforms and it gained some sort of control of state. And an example of that is the 1979 Iranian Revolution, or perhaps the Chinese Communist Party. Another example is the reformative social movement. It seeks partial change in society, social systems, I'm sorry. An example of that would be the women's suffrage movement or the women's right to vote movement. They merely just wanted to change a part of the system and only wanted the same right as men. Another one is the redemption social movement. It's a radical, but it's focused on the individual. It seeks total individual change. These are usually religious movements geared towards a total change in a person. An example of that is a religious movement that promises salvation through personal transformation. So the last one is alternative movement. It's actually a partial individual change. Is geared towards a partial individual change. The goal is partial change in individuals' behavior. An example of this would be Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They're after the individual goal of stopping people from driving drunk. So, in conclusion, basically what this whole lesson is about is social change, and it's the alterations in way of social life structures of a society. Every society of the world is undergoing some sort of form of social change, and societies keep on modifying. Hence, social change is universal. It's going to continue. Okay, this is N.Jones, and I hope I answered each question as efficiently as possible. And it has been my pleasure being a part of your class, and it has been extremely formative. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.